Hello class, the new unit that we are going to cover is called geometry, and what we're specifically going to do is we're going to study area, perimeter, and volume of different shapes, mostly squares and rectangles and their three-dimensional cubes and boxes. We'll cover some triangles, but that won't be till later. Today we're going to focus on the definitions and on perimeter and area. When we measure length, we measure the distance from one end to another end. When we're measuring width, we're measuring the distance from side to side. And when we're measuring height, we're measuring the vertical distance. So we're measuring up and down. We can use these to solve some different formulas. The first formula we're going to talk about is perimeter. When we speak of perimeter, we speak of the distance around something. So with this rectangle up here, it would be the distance that it takes Barbie to walk around the rectangle. So distance is the measurement around an object, and it's calculated by adding all the sides together. The two lengths plus the two widths, or the two widths plus the two heights, or the two heights plus the two lengths. Here in our formula, we call it length plus width plus length plus width. If we said that this rectangle is 5 feet long and 2 feet wide, we would take 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2, and we would add them up. 5 and 5 make 10, 2 and 2 make 4, 10 and 4 make a perimeter of 14. We could label these inches or centimeters, nothing fancy at the end. They're not squared because we're not talking area. Area is calculated by length times width. Remember that the asterisk means to multiply. Multiply the length and the width. And we do that so that it tells us how many squares are in that object. Those squares might end up being tiles on a floor or square yards of carpeting. Area is the amount of space something covers. We think of them in terms of dividing things up into squares. If we said this is 3 feet long and 3 feet wide, that would actually be dividing up that room or box into 3 sections long and 3 sections wide. When we take 3 times 3, we get 9. And if we count our division of boxes here, we see that we have 1, 2, 3 across, 1, 2, 3 down, and 3 times 3 is 9. Area is written in inches squared with the little 2. But we're not going to worry about that right now. But that little 2 means little squares. If this is Barbie's garden, and we want to find the perimeter of the garden, because she's going to fence it in, we would need to measure the length of the garden. And when we do that, it's 10 feet long. When we measure the width of the garden, we find that it's 5 feet wide. To find the perimeter, we're going to add those together. So we take 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5. And remember, in addition, the order doesn't matter. We could just do 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. But when we add those together, we get 20, 25, 30, 30 feet in perimeter. That's the distance of fence, length of fence, that Barbie would have to use to build her fence around her garden. Now let's find the area. Let's say Barbie decided she had it and she's sick of her garden and it wasn't growing things and she wanted to make it into a patio. She needed to buy 1 foot by 1 foot square tiles. What she would need to do is make sure, double check her measurement of the length and the width, and let's say it's still 10 by 5. She's keeping the fence up. We would take 10 times 5 this time, and 10 times 5 is 50. So she would need 50 patio blocks or 50 patio tiles. So our area is 50. Hope you have a good day.